Good evening, people. Sorry I'm a bit late. I was busy messing on the computer there for a minute. How is everyone? As you can see, oh, you can't see. I was going to say, as you can see, or can you? Yes, you can see. Deal's in.
I'm hiding in the corner.
Hiding in the corner. Right. We'll do the usual. I'll pop Deal into the background, explain what I'm going to be doing, and then Deal can start reading out the chat and let me know who's in. So, going there we go. Just change the camera so you can see what we're going to be doing. So there we are. I've got a nice piece of Silver Birch on the lathe tonight. Around about 12.5 inches diameter at the moment, and about 2 deep. Usual size of piece I use when I'm doing any colouring, anything like this. Has got a bit of bark on here. Some of that will stay. Some of it will obviously get turned away. So we'll just start getting going. Oh, bit of housekeeping. There was a couple of few comments I missed on Monday. But what I usually do is go back, watch the video when the live chat comes up with it, and then I can see what's been going on in the chat. And if there's anything I've missed, I'll get in touch with people. I missed something that Jamie had said on Monday, but I did explain to him I'd already put a link to that particular thing in the chat. Larry from LC Woodworks had commented about something or put something in the chat about tools and things like this. So I got in touch with him on Tuesday and sent him a link to what he was looking for. Derek Brightwell, I don't know if Derek's in yet. I'm sure Dale will tell me when he comes in. Derek had asked 3 times. Derek had asked 3 times about something on Monday, and both Dale and I missed it every time. So I did message Derek on Facebook, but he hasn't been back in touch, so I don't know if I messaged the right person or not.
Can find out.
Yeah, somebody out there's got an obscure message from some silly Geordie. Anyway, here we go.
Really busy. Steve Robbins is in.
Well, I'm just going to have a look and see if I've that's it. Just turn that off on there. Bring that back up. There we go.
Young Midnight Joker is suggesting that's a weirdly positioned piece of bark.
Yeah, it was. I think it was a bit of an ingrowth. I can't remember what size this Silver Birch was, but if you imagine the tree trunk is coming round this way, that's the way the tree trunk was coming round. So that's basically the bit of bark that was left on there. Right, I'm turning at around about 800 revs, 850. I'm turning that. So I'll just get this straightened off across the bottom.
Loads of people in the chat. Loads of folks. Rich, Keelan, Andy C, obviously Fingers, Mike the Midnight Joker, Real Simple Things, H Bespoke, Greg Alexander, Wife of Woodshed, Martin at Wood Creations. I've seen scrolling past Barry, Real Simple Things, Nick Flaming Turner, Mike Dews, Steve Robbins, Mr. Grit himself, Glenn Senior, Emmett from Dead Rise Woodcraft, to name but a few. And right. There are quite a few.
Just for Andy, I think we were speaking the other night, I think it was after your live when we were having a bit of chat afterwards talking about TV programmes, and I'm sure you mentioned NCIS. There you go. Gibbs Rules t-shirt. Just thought I'd let him say that.
Glenn's inquiring colouring again.
Yes, colouring again, Glenn. I will be using it at some point, though.
He's suggesting that's an inexpensive gouge.
this is my favourite tool of the moment, Robert Sorby titanium nitrate coated 1/2 inch ball gouge, the Excelsior.
And Martin at Woody's Creations says he's been playing. May post a few pics on Facebook tomorrow.
That'll be good, Martin. Good to see some of your work on there.
Says, looking forward to seeing the pictures, Martin. Well done. Emmett says, I saved the best till last. Doug Miller's
probably going to get... Who?
Doug Miller.
Doug. Hi, Doug.
You have a small audience, sir, of 58 people.
Yeah. The impression I'm getting at the moment from this piece of wood is that it's going to try and fight me all night. I'm getting a hell of a lot of tear out here. I've got a couple of burry bits on this as well. I'm getting a lot of tear out all over the place, which I'm not really concerned about. That'll get turned out at some point. I'm just going to dip this in a wee bit at the centre, and then I'll put the mortise in.
There's a few things going on in the chat, which I'll read in a minute. But we need a drink. We need a drinking word for this evening.
Oh, we need a drinking word. Can you think one up? I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
We'll give it a second. Folks in the chat, what do you think the drinking word should be for this evening? Okay, drinking word for this evening. Meantime, we have Martin at Woody's Creations saying, David, I've been trying to mix some colours, waxes on the piece. It's looking good. HP Spoke says, working on a maker swap, Emmett. Glenn says he's been TIG welding today.
Oh my God.
Young Doug Miller says that's an interesting blank.
Yes. A fair bit of this bark is basically going to get turned away, but there will be some left. Right, I'm going to use the speed sizer. I don't think
he's not come in yet.
Yet.
A few other comments in the chat. Wayne Bigfoot, Andy watched the Celtic Cross, really enjoyed the video.
Right, so that's the speed sizer, developed and invented by Chris Fisher, the blind wood turner, and now produced by Axminster. Seeing as how it has been produced by Axminster, it's all of these holes across horizontally are for the Axminster lathes. They're all lettered to coincide with the Axminster chucks, I should have said. To coincide with the Axminster chuck jaws. There's a couple that aren't on there. Some of the O'Donnell jaws aren't on there. And things like there's a couple others as well that are not on there. But all the vertical holes that you see here, these are all spaced at 10 mil apart. So you can actually get something pretty close to any type of jaw that you are going to be using. And the way you use it is you just slot it in, bring up your tailstock so it's in the center hole, like that. Just bring up the tailstock, not too tight, because you want to be able to spin your blank while you're doing it. I'll be using the C-jaws, I'll be using the mortise, so I need the external C-jaws. I've actually marked it just with a marker, as you see there. And you just hold your pencil on, take it around the other way, hold your pencil on while turning the speed sizer, and that should have made a mark all the way around. If it hasn't, I'll do it again. Yeah, there you go. You can't actually, it's a bit glary, but there's a pencil mark all the way around there, which means I can just go straight in and do a mortise, and I'll know fine well it's going to fit the jaws.
It's a bit of chat's moving quite quick. I'm afraid you have an awfully small 65 in the room, so I'm certain there's going to be a few things going by. Greg Alexander offers bark to be the bark free to be the drinking word thing. I suggest the word bark might be it. Let's go with bark, folks. Bark is the word for the evening. You know?
Okay, so every time I mention bark, mind you, that could be a real double one. That once the dogs come out to play, because they'll be barking. I'm going to have barking. I'm going to have barking as part of the word as well.
Bloody hell, mate! I can't keep up. I think we're going to get another bottle. There's lots of other suggestions we put forward, and I apologise to folks if I didn't get to all of them. The chat is moving very quickly here. Did Rice Woodcraft suggested wood? He's clearly a borderline alcoholic. Herb says tear out. Robert Lashley says hi, Robert. Bar. Terry Sykes says bark. Glenn Senior says Yorkshire grit. The old boys shed says, oh, I missed that. Hi, Wayne Bigfoot. How about flange? Offers Wayne fennel. But we'll go with bark. I feel Glenn bark. Bark said Steve Turner. Steve said tear out. Yeah, bark it is. I feel. Waiting patiently for the delivery. Dave McLaren says, I'm waiting patiently with delivery as I got new colours to play with. John PBH is in the chat. Hi, John.
Good evening, John.
As is Mr. Rubin.
Happy birthday to Wayne as well. Wayne of the Big Feet.
Wayne of the Big Feet. Happy birthday to you. Cos is in the chat.
Evening, Cos.
Well, so we got yes. Chat's moving quite quick.
In the description underneath the video, I've put links in for the t-shirt and also the Funnel Club t-shirt.
James Cassidy says, David, are you barking mad?
And the two
When Senior says, well, not... Oh, I missed that. Well, not be drinking much if we use... Well, we'll not be drinking much if you use Yorkshire Grit, says Glenn Senior.
I'll be using Yorkshire Grit, Glenn. I've told you I'll be using it.
Does that mean you're employed again?
I've got no idea at the moment.
Because I need to offer work placement. Wood Ninjas Wood Turning says, love the Silver Birch, Wayne, and working with some white and grey birch in the shop.
Very nice.
John PB8 is singing happy birthday to Dear Big Cookies. Mike Kolozinski typed in something. It's worth remembering, folks, that if you type in a message and we're using StreamYard, StreamYard keeps the message. So in this case, it's all good, but it's always worth remembering. Ian in the Shed says, I bought some Yorkshire Grit and Hampshire Shane, although I haven't had a chance to use it yet.
Why not, Ian?
Mr. Rubin says, happy birthday, Wayne, of the larger than normal treat. folks, as Kaz correctly points out, 65 watching, 23 thumbs. Go on. If you really like what Wayne does, please, 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 please hit that thumbs up.
See how we're getting on with this bark inclusion.
Glenn says, let me know what you think when you do, Ian, in relation to the Yorkshire Grip piece. Turner by Steve says, Ian, they are both awesome. I missed that. Oh, Hamster Sheen and Yorkshire Grip. This StreamYard is very laggy today for the chat. Peter Mills in the chat.
Evening, Peter. Right, so I'm just getting a bit of shape into the bowl now.
Nick the Flame and Turner says, happy birthday, Wayne, from him and Steve. Mr. Rubin says, no spalting in this piece. Oh, I'll start that again. No spalting in this piece. So sad.
No spalting in this piece, Reuben. I think this was cut down, planked, then left to air dry indoors for a good few months. Then it was kiln dried.
How would that have affected the bark?
I nearly said realistically there.
Double drinking you do.
Off fairly easily, but I tried earlier on and it's still stuck on there really quite tight.
John PBH says, Mr. Rubin's spalting is so last season. Feelings in the chat? John PBH says, you just did, Wayne. Realistically, that is. Mr. Rubin inquires, does it have to be wet to get the fungus stuff thingies?
What was that deal? I missed that. You went quiet for a minute.
Sorry. Mr. Rubin says, does it have to be wet to get the fungus stuff thingies?
Yes, it does. It needs to be left to lie.
Midnight Joker says, happy birthday, Wayne of the Titanic Tootsies. A fair coming out today, all the alternatives. This is quite good.
In fact, these bits here.
John PBH says, Mr. Rubin, an excellent scientific description of the spalting process.
These bits of spalted sycamore that I've got, again, these were cut down, planked, dried, and then kiln dried. And I had a good discussion with somebody on the internet. I don't remember his name now, but I had a good discussion with somebody on the internet about spalting. And it seems that spalting can happen even when the tree is growing.
Turner Steve says, that gouge looks awesome. You guys are going to cost me a fortune.
Robert Sorby, Excelsior, half-inch bowl gouge, titanium nitrate coated, so the edge lasts longer. Right, I'm just going to give my small gouge a sharpen, just so I can do a finishing cut on this.
Cuz says, making is expensive at Trinity. Glenn Senior says, fantastic, some Moretti is a surprisingly nice combination. David McLaren says, "You're right, Steve. I work 2 jobs and try to keep up with the expenses." Laugh out loud. Rich says he'll be back shortly. He's going to have to run out.
Okay.
In the shed says, at Turner Steve, my cheap lathe cost me 5 times the amount in accessories so far, and I'm still hardly got anything. Andy C says, what grind are you using, Wayne?
45. That's my favourite grind. It's not for everybody. Not everybody likes a 45, but it's the one that I'm more comfortable with. Right, and what I'm going to try and do here, I wonder if this will be better on.
Like some kind of wood-turning gunslinger with 2 45s.
Let's see what's like on this one. Oh no, you're going to be able to see it as well. I'll leave it on the front one. What I'm going to try and do, whenever I try and do a finishing cut, I always try and do it from start to finish, so I don't have any interruptions in between. And it's quite a fine cut that I do for a finishing cut, so I'll see how I get on with this one.
Mr. Rubin says, I only heard the black lines at 2 fungi meeting. Should really do some research. Turner Steve says, I need to keep reminding myself it's not the quality of the tool, but the skill of the user. That's what she said. Turner Steve. Wayne Bigfoot Woodcraft Budget Cocktail Glen, Tankastics and Moretti. Glenn Senior says, both in the same gob, Wayne. Robert Lansley says, happy birthday. Oh, I can't pronounce that. I'm going to have a crack at it. Go Magna Pedies. Is that Latin? I don't know. MEGNA Magna Pedies.
Magna Pedies must be. Right, how did I do on that tear out? I've got a little bit. I didn't even cut that part when I was doing the finishing cut. So I'll just go over this part here. That's it. That's all the tear out done with. So now that's the bottom finished cutting anyway. So I'll get on and do some sanding now. Silver birch is quite soft wood, so it does cut and sand really easily.
67 watching, so. Double entendres rule okay, says Turner Steve. I more than happy.
Yeah, double entendres.
Yes, Cuz says, a bad tool in the hands of a skilled maker can produce... I'm sorry, sir.
Give her one.
Oh, I was going to just read out. Cuz says, a bad tool in the hands of a skilled maker can produce good projects. A good tool in the hands of a skilled maker can produce great projects. One correctly says PD is equal to. That says, hey Wayne and all, hope everything's good. Andy Bespoke says, what if the maker is a tool gun? James Cassidy says, there goes the small sander again.
Yeah, I love this small sander.
Nathan's in the chat.
Evening, Nathan. I ordered some Nest type abrasive right back at the beginning of April, and it didn't arrive, and it didn't arrive, and it didn't arrive. So I got in touch with the company, and eventually they sent us a new lot out. And then yesterday, the original lot turned up bloody damaged, or the pattern was damaged.
Terry Sykes says that you need a Mike Walt extractor.
I've got an extractor. I just tend not to switch it on when I'm doing lives.
John PBH says it's the first time he's seen Silver Birch tons. It's looking lovely already. Glenn Senior says, laughs out loud, Terry, just tell him to bugger off. That usually works. Phil Butler says, whoops, I'm late. Hi, Phil.
Evening, Phil. It's probably been doing washing up. Right, that's it done to 240. Give me a brush, give it a brush off.
Gina Nax in the chat. Hi, Gina. Twice in 1 week. Hello. Gina has the misfortune of having known me for 24 years. Wayne.
Right.
You feel sorry for her?
You're still alive. Chestnut Products acrylic sand and sealer. This wood is really dry. This sand and sealer is just soaking straight in.
Wayne Bigfoot Woodcraft says, Phil, Glenn says you're not late. He hasn't used grit yet.
It's usually at this point, certainly during my lives, when I'm just about to start using grit, Glenn gets up and buggers off for another beer or something.
Probably. He's on the Tangtastics tonight.
Or on site, or something like that.
Mr. Rubin says, hey, John, I did a video a while ago making a spalted Silver Birch bull. Midnight Joker says, screaming bearings in that drill. Baz says, what's the effect tonight? John Cassidy says, my wife promised me a cuppa 25 minutes ago. Where is she?
Cheers, Jimmy. Nice to see you in.
Phil Butler says, who woke up Glenn? And Jeff says, hi, Ice. That's Ice. JP Woodcraft says, hey, sorry I'm late. Hi, Ice.
Yorkshire Grit, the finest of wood turners abrasive pastes.
Last Gina Nack says you should. I think we should feel sorry for her because she's known me for so long. I think you're probably right, Gina. Midnight Ruben, not to be self-promoting, but then you can see how it works with spalting. Boom. Phil Bullet says, I see we've got golf commentary on again, and he's just lining up to take the putts. He's 12 minutes out on this. It's a case of and Phil, Wayne is wearing +4s just to make you feel at home.
Oh, Martin Dickinson's in. Good evening, Martin. How are you?
You're way down on the chat. You're much faster in the chat tonight than me. Where are you? Tings is in. Hi, Tings.
Right, here's what's left of the bark. So that's all that's left there. So I am just going to leave that on there. I think it adds something to it. Mind you, but the only people who are going to see the bark are going to be other wood turners when they pick it up to have a look what the bottom's like.
Absolutely. Martin Dickinson's in the chat.
Yep, that's just who I said hello to.
I thought it was Martin at Woody's Creations you were saying hello to. Okay.
No, it was Martin Dickinson.
Too many Martins, too many Waynes, too many Steves. Thankfully, only one JP, but there we are.
Oh.
Glenn Senior says, okay, you've got your job back, although I wouldn't use it on that bow.
Why not, Glenn? Probably because of the bark inclusion. That's why he wouldn't use it.
Oh, heck. I'm going to have a drink now. Wayne
Right.
of the Big Feety says, I love the bark left in.
And Baz is asking, what's the plan with the piece tonight, Wayne? Well, I'm going to turn it over. Oh, yeah. Turn it around. After I've done this and after I've put a bit of wax on, I'm going to turn it around. Should have turned that speed down. That'd be me sacked again. I've just been taken back on. I'm going to turn it over, flatten off the top. And there's a bit of burr on the top in a couple of places. I'm not very sure if there's any ripple in this. Let's have a look at the bottom, see what we've got on the bottom. There's some nice movement in here. I'm hoping that's going to transfer through to the top. Because what I'm going to do on the top is...
JP says only one Jaffa. Dave McLean says, true, you always know other wood turners at the fairs because they pick up your stuff and look straight at the back. Martin Dickinson says, that's standard, isn't it, for a wood turner to look at the bottom of anything turned? Glenn suggests that the reason he wouldn't use Yorkshire grit on it is because you'll have to pick it out of the inclusion.
Just like I'm doing now.
Phil says, Glenn, is your big bowl still splitting? Real L999. Question for the chat. I have a piece of line to turn. Never turned it before. What can I expect?
You can expect it to be very soft. It should cut fairly easily, but you might get a bit of tear out, seeing as how it is soft. So be very careful. Probably higher speed, very sharp tools to make sure you get a decent cut. Lime is usually used for carving rather than turning. Oh look, Chris Parker did a really nice piece the other night with a piece of lime burr, which was very nice. I'm actually going to be using the same colour on this one as what Chris used on his piece the other night, which is the, instead of using Martin's intrinsic colours tonight, I'm using the green spirit stain from Chestnut and using an airbrush to put it on. So that's what I'll be doing when I flip this round, once I get some wax on there.
Chat's moved on a bit, but we have Chisky Wood Creations in the chat.
Evening, Chisky. So again, tonight I'm using food safe wax from the birthday boy himself, Wayne of the Big Feets. I'll just turn that off and I'll apply the wax while it's stationary first. And I'll keep it out of the inclusion.
For his birthday.
Sorry?
You think there's a special edition wax to celebrate his 55th birthday?
Oh, I don't know. I don't think he's actually making any until after all this nonsense finishes.
COVID. Lots going on in the chat. John PBA says, not trying to put you off, but I've turned a few bits. They're still talking about line. Baz says, love the green from Chestnut. Very nice, Wayne.
Oh, yeah, haven't finished it yet, Baz. Bit presumptuous there.
Chesky's coin coming in from the great state of North Carolina. I know North Carolina pretty well, Chesky. Spent a lot of time around Raleigh, Durham, and in and around one or two of the places downstream, and made sort of run out towards Boone on an occasion for many years, many years.
And there we are. That's the bottom done.
Glenn says 55 G's. That's older than dust. 72 watching, sir.
Good. See, you don't know how much I appreciate everybody coming in to watch what I'm doing. So here is the top now. I'll just give that a quick spin. Yeah, that's running fine. And then tighten up the chuck on all the tightening points.
GP says, Dale, Vicky wasn't impressed with the picture of my kebab I sent last night. Well, you did put me up to it, JP.
Right. Terry's asking, will the inclusion become a hole when I do the inside? No, Terry. Like you say there, I'll be doing a wide rim on this one, so there's no chance of it becoming a hole.
Midnight Joker says, looks like a crocodile.
The word of tonight, JP, is bark. Because we had a big piece of bark inclusion on the back, and most of the bark I've turned away. So it's only got a little bit of a bark inclusion now.
Rudy says, we are all watching the master at work. Fabiola says, always good entertainment, Wayne, along with great banter, equals a good time. Chris Cox is in the chat.
Evening, Chris. Right, I'm turning now. That's up to about 1100. I'm turning that now.
James Cassidy says, do not know where the wife has gone. No tea turning up. She's fired. Good luck with that, James. Real Ale 999 says, wide rim funnel, maybe? Timothy said 4 backs in one sentence. Better open another bottle. GP says, ha 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 ha, drink. I got him to say 4 times just by asking.
Again, I'm getting a fair bit of turnout. Not overly concerned about that. I'll get that sorted once I do a finishing cut. I'm just going to take the sharp edge off the bowl now.
So you don't join the Fingers Club? Like young Stace?
And just do a bit of a shape on the wing. I've got a bit of tear out at the edge here. I've got rid of the tear out that was around here, but I've got 2 bits here, just either side of this small burr, where there's a bit of tear out. So I'm just going to see if I can, just with a nice fine cut, just get rid of that.
When Senior suggests he's span out already? So Brillet says, I spoke to Glenn the other day. He said when he watches Wayne, he has the odd drink. He also pointed out that 11 is an odd number. Chris Cox says, what's the game tonight? The word of the evening. The word of the evening is Bart, young Chris. Stace, we're merely saying that Wayne is trying to avoid the joining the Fingers Club by stopping the edge being so sharp. I.e., what we should say is kind of doing a Stace, I think, and joining the Fingers Club that way.
Well, I'm just going to take this in a bit more so I don't have that step there. If I want to put a bead in, I'll put the bead in later after I've coloured.
Do you get like a higher rank in the Fingers Club by cutting yourself in new and inventive ways?
Oh, you could do.
I'll leave that one to Stace and Fingers to report back.
When I did my fingers at the back end of last year, it was with a piece of yew log on the bandsaw.
Ooh. Frisky Wood Creation says he wants to turn a cowboy hat. Anyone know a good word for that? Or good wood for that, sorry.
Good wood for that, yes, something wet. Okay, you're going to need something wet. It's going to have to start off at about 18 or 19 inches diameter by about 8 inches deep to turn a cowboy hat, but it needs to be wet. It's got to be really green wood, and it's got to be turned very, very thin, because it needs to be able to bend. You've got to have the proper benders and everything for getting the rim of the hat bent round. There's quite a few videos on YouTube on how to do it, but any wood, you can use just about any wood, but it does need to be very green.
A few things in the chat. Stay saying hello to folks, and we have Doug Miller, Krisky. Anything green would be a good wood to do it from. Midnight Joker says, have any of you used the Plastic Coat products, Wayne? Have you ever used the Plastic Coat products? Yeah.
I use Plastic Coat lacquer. I don't use any of the crackle stuff because I've got proper crackle glaze things that I use with the Joe Sonia paints and other acrylic paints. So I don't tend to use them. But yes, Plastic Coat. Have I got any Plastic Coat spray paints? I don't know if I have.
I've got a few. I've got some of the Stone Effect stuff. I find it to be quite splattery. You've got to use it at a distance, I find. Does the job, but
I've certainly used the lacquer with good results in the past. Right, I'm just going to get this sanded up quickly. I'll be going down to 400 on this, or up to 400, whichever way you look at it.
Cool. There's no clearance. Oh wait, sorry. Martin Decker says claret is as bad as a stain to get rid of unless you make a feature of it. David McLaren, Wood Turning Craft says, breaking my fingers is enough for me, Dale. Leave the new and inventive. I think that's what you mean, fingers, for someone else. I agree.
About the baby cowboy hat.
Yep.
One of the best guys to watch in the UK for doing small, he does the full size hats as well, but certainly for doing smaller hats, is a guy called Andrew Hall from across Durham way. He's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
So if you're in the UK and you see Andrew turning up, or you see that he's going to be doing a demo at your wood turning club, go along and have a look. He is very good. Plus, he makes his own blues guitars as well, and he usually gives a song. He usually gives a song at the end of the performance as well.
Cool. Phil Butler says I tend to do a cowboy hat. Using elastic bands. Phil Butler says it's about 4 inches wide. Phil says I'm going shopping tomorrow to get ingredients to make parkin on Saturday with Emma.
Emma, you're going to join in and make the parkin as well, are you, Bill?
Cool. Young JP's posted the discount code for the Funnel Club shirt.
Good. It's also in the description as well.
And Ian in the shed said, Stace, my stickers ever turn up, or are they still lost in the depths of the Royal Mail?
Phil, I got a message from Emma the other day asking if I wanted to do a live alongside her. Still got
Chris
to work
Cox
out
says.
the details yet, but that might be coming up in the future.
Cool. Chris Cox says, "What's the ingredients, Phil? I'll send the wife out." I imagine that's for the parking. Haven't had parking in ages. Mr. Rubin asks, "What's parking?"
I'll let somebody else explain that.
Fabiola says, "What is BBC? Good day. There is a recipe there."
I don't know if it's
You're
a
right.
type of business or a type of cake.
Here was me thinking parking involved cars.
Right, so I've got a bit of burr there. I've got a bit of burr here. This was around the centre of the tree, so that's been very close to the pith. And there's some other nice grain direction going on. So what I'm going to do now, just make sure this is working. Yeah. Bloody came out. I took 2 of me bloody airbrushes in the house to get washed, and neither of the bloody things are working. Right. So I'm just going to cover this in green and see how it looks. See if I need to knock anything back. Like I say, these are the chestnut spirit stains. I'm not using Martin's intrinsics tonight. I'm using something a bit different.
A few things in the chat. Stace says we got the stickers this morning. Was meant to mention it, but she forgot. She ran out as soon as she came. As soon as they came, she ran out, did the shopping, came back, started deep cleaning the kitchen. Quincinia says ginger and treacle cake. Oh,
No.
There we are. It's a bit like a, I don't know, golden syrup cake, is it? A Jamaica cake?
That'll be black treacle.
All right.
It'll be treacle, not golden syrup. I don't think.
Martin at Woody Creation says, "Can you just imagine Emma cooking the parking and Wayne eating it?" Jamie's posted a link for the discount stickers from Makers International Podcast. Midnight Joker Mike says, "Treacle cake, yum." Steve Robbins says, "Mr. Rubin, it's something my wife struggles with in the car." My word. My word. I can't get the Blur song out of my head now. Park Life. Don't know why.
I'm just going to go a bit darker over the bird bit there. The burry bit, I should say. Just to make that stand out a bit more. Maybe over this bit as well.
Matthew Gallagher's back in the chat.
Hey, Matthew.
Mike says, "Good job, Stace. Isn't here, Steve." Oh. I think it must be Steve talking about his wife barking.
I'll get this dried off, see what it looks like. It actually looks a bit lighter looking at the camera than what it does in real life.
JP says, "Ginger and treacle cake. Don't give away the Yorkshire secrets, Glenn." Adrian Moore's in the chat.
How you doing?
Mick Jew says, "My wife's from Yorkshire. I'll get her to make some parking tomorrow."
What I'm going to do, let's see if I can pop this back in there. The bottle, if I can find the bottle. Is
that on?
Bear with me a second, guys.
Jamie inquires, "Is parking the same as dogging?"
Trust Jamie.
Mike, the Midnight Joker. I think he's maybe out of sequence here. I thought parking was like a poor man's dogging. Glenn Senior suggests that it's oatmeal, black treacle, and ginger. Is that like the extra course Yorkshire grit, Glenn? I don't know.
You park in the cheap dog and you don't get the entertainment. Right, what other colour have I got here that might go well? Purple, red, black. Sure, I have some bloody yellow. Doesn't look like I've got any yellow.
Oh, yellow.
What goes well with green?
Red. To be
Red.
fair, orange.
Orange.
Was it red and green should never be seen except upon an Irish queen?
All right. So don't go with red then.
No, just it's red and green kind. Red-haired Celtic goddess wearing a green dress.
Well, what I'll do, I'll stick some red in and just have a go.
Have a shifty.
See what it's going to be look like. Decisions. Put that back onto there.
JP Woodwork has suggested the word fire. Adrian Moore says, "Isn't that what you do when your car reaches your destination?" No, and no, I didn't mean dogging. Adrian Moore says, "Glenn, are you saying the contents of parking or colours Wayne should use?" I accept no responsibility for these color choices.
No, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Just to put something a bit different in. I can always knock some of this back if I want.
Exactly. Good. Jamie will buy it anyway. I mean, it's only a practice piece. Woody Woodcliff says, "Well, thanks, folks. I'm off to work now. Bye, Woody." Van Dickinson says, "Do the red in stripes, giving it a tartan look." John PBH says, "Celtic knot in a rim. Then we are well on our way to with that colour scheme."
Right.
JP says, "I thought blue would have been kind of good."
I was thinking blue myself, JP, to tell you the truth. So this is a piece of orange web racks, which is the equivalent grit of around about 1200. That's actually blended that in, not too bad. I'll do a bit more and then I'll put a bit more of the red on. So I don't know if I've got another bottle I can use for.
Fine, I'll just set my workshop on fire for everyone's entertainment then, says JP. Instagram Live, it didn't happen, JP.
I thought he was wanting me to use fire.
You can never tell. 70 people in the chat.
Good. I'll leave that bit and go over that with some red again, I think.
James Cassidy says he's not used his airbrush for ages. Getting easier to colour by hand these days. Must have a go again just to justify keeping it. For Butler says, "Someone give JP a happy pill to calm him down." Ian in the shed says, "If you're going to do that, JP, can I have your lathe before the fire?" Steve Coombs is in the chat.
Evening, Steve.
And then Joker says, "Oh, where's the quick change gun from, Wayne?"
Right. The quick change connector, this connector here, you can buy them from on eBay or Amazon for a set of 6. The airbrushes I use, I got from Wish, but again, I think you can buy them on Amazon. That's a set of 6 airbrushes for around. I think they're selling it around about £80 at the moment. £85, something like that.
Midnight Joker says, "I've tried to carve a Triskelion Celtic knot today with the captain ring. Failed totally, but know what I did wrong. Next try will work." Martin Dickinson says, "Wayne, stop and have a good look at the disc at 3 o'clock. Looks like it could separate."
There. Are you talking about there, Martin?
We'll find out in a second. JP says he's giving away 3 lives. He wants to take this one with him when he sets fire to his workshop. As it says, mine's got a pot on top and paint cleaning, changing after every color. Ah, okay, yes, that's
Right,
yeah.
That's what I should do. That is definitely what I should do. No, because they really fine. I thought that was a marker pen. It's not. Right, I was going to do a marker pen around the outside, but I haven't got one to hand, so I'm just going to leave that.
If someone's inquiring, are you doing camo this evening? Does look a bit like camo from here.
I just want to just quickly knock that back again before I put any sand and sealer on and any finish on. I'm not going for lacquer tonight because it will take a bit of time for the lacquer to dry. I know we've just been going an hour, but just knock that back a wee bit. I'll use some
Martin says yes. That's the dodgy. That's looking a bit dodgy from where he is.
No, I think that's just where the colour's actually gone in the grain, and it's the colour of the grain. It's totally solid there, Martin. Now, obviously, these colours aren't going to be for everyone. And personally, I think I could have made a better choice of the colours. But here,
I think so too.
It's done now. I will just, if I don't like it, I'll take the colours back off tomorrow and do something else.
Take them all back off and do it again. Yeah.
I'll just do it again.
I think you should do it again anyway.
Call me for
Steve says, day 1, no accidents with my fingers. Awesome, Steve. Says, got full setup, just need bottles and another gun. Where from, JP? Only you're the man on the shop front? Okay, you're the man on the shop front. JP says, I believe I got the glass bottle from Wish. Jonathan, always best to check the price on both sides. Space Make, only because I didn't go into the workshop today. Oh, okay, that's one way to avoid cutting yourself. Mr. Rubin says, so you didn't go into the shop, Stace? And various chuckles.
Right, what I am going to do, and just to show you can, and again, it has got a coat of sand and sealer on there, but this still might remove some of the colour, which, like I said, I'm not overly concerned about because I'm probably going to change the colour at some point anyway. But I'm going to be using some Yorkshire Grit microfine just to knock back the sand and sealer. I was actually hoping within the grain there was going to be a bit of a ripple in there because the green would have worked really, really well if there'd been some ripple in there, because when you get ripple and grain going in different directions, you get colour changes depending on which way the grain's going and how the ripple works and everything.
Twisted Trees is in the chat.
Evening, Twisted Trees.
Just finished dinner. I might have been tempted to have done the red as more of a starburst in the center and sort of raying out to across the green.
Well, I'm not going to do it again tonight.
No.
Or am I?
You could do.
I could do. I've got loads of time, haven't I?
Yep.
Colour change.
Definitely. Picture's gone a bit pixelated, so let's see how it goes.
What was it?
Yeah, I don't think it's anything you've done. I think it's just the internet. Woof, 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 woof.
The dogs are barking.
So if you have a drink in your hand, you need to down it because
the dog's barking.
Steve Coombs is Stuart Farini subbing for Wayne tonight.
Yes.
Andy C's asking. Go on, sir.
I had a Stuart Farini moment there.
Andy C's is saying, Wayne, was that item called? What was that item called you used to get the size of the mortise?
Oh, that's the speed sizer. Who was that asked that?
Andy C.
Andy, that's it. Speed sizer. You get it from Axminster. Across here, across the horizontal ones, they're all lettered to coincide with the Axminster jaws for their chucks. There's a couple that don't match up. Oh, sorry. There's a couple that have been missed off. And down here, for other sets of jaws from other makers, you've got holes which are 10 millimeters apart. So you hold it up against the bottom of the bowl with the tailstock, fairly loose. I've got that one marked there. You put a pencil through. So it's being held by the tailstock. You put a pencil through, and then you spin the blank so it draws a circle of the size you want, and that shows you the correct size of the mortise you're going to need for when you want to turn the mortise out. Very, very good piece of kit.
Cut Wax and Admire is in.
Oh, hi, Lygia. How are you?
Twisted Tree says, I have attempted to make a YouTube video today, just putting it together. I realized the camera battery was flat a lot longer than I realized. Have you posted it, Twisted Trees? And maybe we could share it here and get you some views.
Well, if the camera battery went flat, you're not having nothing to post.
Well, we'll see how it goes. Terry Sykes says, Christ just got out of the room and hit and miss, and the army colouring gone. Good decision, Wayne.
Thank you. I was going to, but then I thought, nah. So we'll go for something different.
DRR Dartmouth on the chat. Hi, Dartmouth.
How's it going? So you're turning very much recently, Lygia? Right, so change the colour, change the product. So I'm using Stone Blue from Martin. From the intrinsic colour range. I think this will work a lot better than the green, and obviously the green and red together. Yeah, I'm liking that already.
Yeah, much better.
And if you want to leave a distinct line on the edge of the piece, always use the spray gun towards the opposite side of the bowl. Now, what Martin would probably do with his, and what I do quite a lot with mine as well, he would probably put a coating of black on first, then knock the black back, and what that does, it actually highlights parts of the grain, so you can, depends on how much you sand the black back, you can actually get some of the blue or whatever colour you use, and you can get it light in parts, and you can get it dark in parts. You can have parts of the grain standing out that you want to have standing out. But I'm just going for a basic all-over colouring with this.
Phil Butler says he can't find his camouflage net. Cut Wax and Mad, just a few leaded poles and pots, nothing aside, and need to tidy up the workshop. Richard Phelan is in the chat.
Evening, Richard.
Startman says, hi Wayne buddy, you know I had to come and see the master wood turning hand modelling pirate.
Thanks, Doc.
Wayne Bigfoot says, Martin, they're a great save a lot messing around or guessing. JP Woodcraft says, I used Martin's colours the other day. Needless to say, I need more practice. Says, Jamie, haven't you been using them for ages? JP says, okay, so why wouldn't you spin the bowl slowly and spray so you don't get dark spots?
When I do that, I don't know if it's my technique on doing that, JP. Let's turn the speed down. Right, we're going at about 150 there. Yeah, about 150. Whenever I try and do that, I always end up with circles. And I don't know if it's my technique when I'm doing it. I could turn the lathe down slower, but that would mean changing the belt, and I really can't be bothered doing that tonight, even though it only takes 2 minutes.
Midnight Joke says, I was wondering if a covered piece of fishnet stocking material you could spray on a dragon skin effect. I've done it with copper patinas, and it's a cool look.
Right. Have I got another bottle? Now
DIY
you.
Dark Matter says, I use an airbrush once to spray hardener in my underwear. All I can say is don't try
Doc, you've been in here 2 minutes.
it.
Right.
David McLaren, Woodturning Crafts. Go on, sir.
What was I going? I've forgotten what I was going to do now. Who asked about using the fishnet stockings?
Midnight Joker, Mike.
Right, Mike the Midnight Joker. Right, Mike.
We're learning a lot about Mike's wardrobe here. He's clearly a Rocky Horror fan.
And just because we can.
Finger says there was some clapping going on, Richard, as the man who owns the chip shop is not well in hospital, just for the community to show the support.
Oh, bit of a shame.
Jamie says, Lego, yeah, I don't do much colouring. I've only started doing it recently. John PBA says, damn, midnight. I threw my fishnets away just the other night. Phil Butler says, JP has some fishnets, apparently. JP, I've had a set of small bottles used, most of 3 bottles, and don't know result. Wasted it.
What I'm using now, I'm now going on to use Ruby, the Ruby colour. And seeing as how, was it Mike who mentioned the fishnet stockings?
Midnight Joker would like to suggest that he hopes Wayne is not wearing fishnets.
No. I don't wear socks or stockings. I don't remember the last time I wore a pair of socks. Right, so what I've got now is some very fine non-slip matting. I probably should have knocked all the dust off this. Let me just give that a wipe down.
Adrian Moore says, I can't afford the larger sets. Jim McClellan says, how's things in Limvady, Richard? PBA says, don't tell me I have to go and buy fishnets now. Matthew Gallagher says, I want to do the colour but don't have an artistic bone in my body. Adrian Moore says, John PBH, no! JP says, shh, I'm using mine.
Right, I've lost my footy. Yeah, oh, there it is.
Adrian Moore says, and it's a jump to the left.
Right, so like I say, what I've got some very fine non-slip matting. And what we're going to do, once I get myself sorted here, that's better.
Phil says he's going to Tesco's tomorrow before there's a run on fishnets.
That didn't really work. It didn't go through the holes very well. So what
Adrian says, thank goodness the pension's all gone this month. Hi, Cut Wax. GP says, I tell you what's worrying is when your missus wants to borrow your underwear.
Let's see if this one will work. The other one didn't.
Terry Sykes says, JP, I used metallic chestnut paints and did a Gary Lowe type textured bowl. Colours look great. You should try them.
Right, this is obviously not going to come out as red, but you are going to get a particular effect by doing this.
I use them to create the impression of dots on a polygraph.
We had a few runs there, but hey-ho. Clean piece of mat.
Adrian Moore says, "Oh, you didn't sing it," in relation to the time warp thing. Matthew Gallagher would turn in. Just give it a go sometime, Steve. So you could tell that they're for a friend. Fabula says, "JP, your missus has already borrowed my underwear." I say, Phil. Darkman says, "I think Wayne wears a hot pink G-string." Just his guess.
No, usually I go commando dark. Oh, that effect is shown on the camera. I wasn't very sure if the effect would actually show on the camera. But that's using the ruby, obviously, because the blue's there to come out more as a dark purple going on black, which is okay. Just give it a quick dry off with the hot air gun.
What's red and blue make? Purple? Says Cutwax.
Purple. And does anybody know the only word in the English language that rhymes with purple?
No.
Anybody in the chat know the only word in the English language that rhymes from purple? Dale should know it because it's from Scottish descent. Or it tends to be used in Scotland more than anywhere else.
Don't know, mate. Go for it.
Purple.
Huh?
Purple. To purple can be used as a verb. It's a particular gait when walking.
I'm gonna have to look up that. Really big foot. I don't clap for the NHS. I just sit my front step and stand up and down a couple of times. My creaking joints sounds like a round of applause. Says Wayne Bigfoots. Midnight Joker says it looks a bit like steak skin. Steve Robbins says, Matthew, when do you get disheartened? And you won't. When you do get disheartened, Matthew, when you do, don't get disheartened until you polish it. Okay. Doug Miller's in the chat.
Hi, Doug.
Carl's just talking turtle. He's suggesting turtle rhymes with purple. I'm not sure about that. Might in your accent. Rich Kaline looking good, Wayne. Cutlet says blurple rhymes with purple. Nick Turner says durple. John PBH. Are we on an edition of QI? Terry Sykes is going with turtle. I suggested maybe an accent in the UK that turtle does sound like purple.
Just look up purple. HURPL on Google and see what you get.
I think there's more than 10 likes, Rich. Refresh your page.
Right, I'm just going to knock that back with some Yorkshire Grit Microfine again. Try not to take too much of the colour off. It shouldn't really, because I'm not using a hell of a lot.
Robert Lapsley suggests myrtle rhymes with purple.
No, it's got a T in it, not a P. To rhyme, it's got to have the same. As in purple, purple. Not turtle.
Chris Scott Cox is suggesting hurtle.
No. Where's the P?
JP says, I bet you a few more words rhyme with purple after a few bevies.
Oh,
He
yes.
may have a point. He may have a point. Midnight Joker suggests, hi, Rubber Dub. Rubber Dub went in. John PBH says, Herpel. Dodgy website, maybe?
though.
John PBH says, from the Scottish, a slight impediment or limp. After he sprained his ankle, he walked with a herple.
There you go, you see.
Well, John, did you ask your friend Google? Did she help?
Or he came hurpling down the hill.
Sounds like an illness.
I'm just finishing this off with a bit of wax, seeing as how it's on the live. If I was to do this, if it was going up for sale, I would probably finish this with about, I don't know, 7 or 8 coats of lacquer and get that built up, and then knock it back with Yorkshire grit microfine, and then stick some wax over the top of that.
Rhyming is sounding the same, not spelt the same, I think. Says cut sand wax. Adrian Moore says, is there something called a half rhyme? Terry Side says, you tell him, Ligger. I was happy with turtle. I was sniggering at blurple.
The thing is, it doesn't even sound the same. Turtle sounds nothing like purple.
Hey, Chris Sullivan's in the chat.
Hi, Chris.
So Butler says reed and weed. Cutback says red or Ted. Adrian Moore says lots of examples. Midnight Joker says roses are red, violets are blue, Wayne's bowl is purples, and I like turtles too.
Right. That's the colouring done. Just got the inside of the bowl to finish off now. Shouldn't take too long. Get the speed turned up. That's us at about 1200 there. We'll quickly get the bowl turned out.
Liga says Phil, he meant red as in the past tense. John PB8 said for Dave, read Dale. Did Dave? I have to admit, it wasn't for anyone coughing in the audience. David Caswell's in the chat says you're thinking of assonance, repetition of the vowel sound.
Started something there, didn't I?
Jamie says, roses are red, his name's Wayne, this poem doesn't make sense, microwave. Robert laughs and says, you can't get us all bladdered and expect us to be good at spelling. Robert has a point. Andy from H Bespoke says, okay, now try rhyming orange. Says, is David Caswell Scottish as well? Cutback says, orange. That rhymes with orange. Wayne of the Big Feetie says, next week, Wayne does wood turning countdown.
Well, I think it was last week or the week before I was supposed to be doing wood turning cookery tips.
Darkman says, I like purple in my glass. If you don't like... I need to read this carefully now. I like purple in my glass. If you don't like, then kiss on my kiss my never mind. Dizzy says Corange. Oh wait, I don't know. John PBA says orange, corange. Finger says, how's Jay? How's the hand, pal? Jay from Jay from Wooden Things, you in the chat. You know what? I've had far too many. You said bark too often at the start, and I've had to keep pace. Okay. Twisted Tree says, I've just seen the news that this lockdown can cause madness. Seems this crowd is rushing ahead of the crowd. I agree with you, Twisted Trees, wholeheartedly. Got me thinking. So Dave McLean says, hi Jay, how's your hand, pal? Jay says, only reason I'm awake, David, it's flocking sore.
Oh, dear.
Dartman says, at Twisted Trees, it was like this before the virus. JP says, don't go through the bottom of the bowl, Wayne. You'll need to buy another Funnel Club shirt. And he posted a discount code, just in case.
My new Funnel Club shirt is on its way.
Finger says, did you take some pain relief, or are you sure you didn't need to go to hospital, Jay? Yeah, if you think he's... I mean, if you...
2 minutes after Martin put them up for sale.
I'm having one of them, says you.
In fact, I ordered mine even before the bloody discount code went up.
There's Keen.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Put some sand and sealer in. I'll use the brush on because I don't want any sand and sealer going on the top of the wax now. Please, I took that green off.
Yep. As I said, red and green should never be seen, except upon an Irish queen. So we've seen the evidence tonight, folks.
Some Yorkshire grit in there. This is just going to get waxed. Yeah.
Ian in the shed says, so what does everyone have planned for the free weekend coming up?
What free weekend?
Exactly. Well, you're doing a live tomorrow.
Oh, God, so I am. I'll be back tomorrow lunchtime, guys. Oh, in fact, I've got a nice piece of Ripple olive ash that I was going to turn a box out of. Now, that might take green.
John PBA says, Ian, what free weekend? I'm retired. Oops, sorry, did I say that out loud?
Yeah, so mind you, what I have found is Jane can actually write lists faster than I can work.
Hide the pen.
Right, I will put different camera on. I'll put the main camera on. Oh, hope you come. There we are. I'll just pop this off the lathe and give you a look and see what you think without me getting dust marks all over it. I will certainly be taking this fin. I'm not happy with the finish on this at all. So I'll certainly be doing something about that, but I just want you to see the effect of the colours if you can. Let's put the other camera back on. The finish on this is absolutely horrible. Probably because I've rushed it. You can see what the finish was like. It's absolutely awful. But you can see the effect of the paint on there with the dots going over the top of the blue. I'm going to leave this on the lathe just to remind me on when I come in the morning to get that back and redone.
There's a number of things in the chat people have said about what they're doing. Dale hiding the pens doesn't work is the one that jumps out. And of course, young dark man, dang, look at those sexy hands. I can't do your accent, man. I'm really sorry. Oh, that's a bit black.
Yeah, I'm trying to get this bloody main camera up. There we are.
There we are.
There we are. So
that's stuttery, but it's all right.
That's my usual around about an hour and a half when I do a live. Thanks everybody for coming in. Much appreciated. I'll show you the finished bowl for those of you who come back tomorrow lunchtime. I'll show you the finished bowl tomorrow lunchtime because I'm going to come back in the morning and get that refinished because, like I say, I'm not happy with the finish on that. I did rush it. It didn't finish the way I wanted it, so it might even be a different colour by the time you come in tomorrow.
Cool.
Who can tell? So that's us. Loads of people in. Like I say, I will have a look at the video. YouTube is taking a while now to put these videos up.
The lives back up, yeah.
So I'll not be able to look at that until probably late tomorrow morning. Might even be tomorrow afternoon. So if anybody's asked us anything and I've missed it, bear with me. If I find it in the chat, I'll certainly message you with any sort of answers that you have to.
We should get people to prefix it with question next time. If they're asking a question direct, we'll get them to prefix it with questions.
What I should do is do what Martin does and just stop every once in a while for a question and answer time. That might be the way
to
go on.
That. You had 70 odd people in the chat. It's moving too quickly to keep pace with.
Grand. So, right, guys, thanks for coming in. Another 70 odd in tonight. Really appreciate that. I'm enjoying doing these lives. I always enjoy doing the lives because I hate bloody doing videos because I hate editing. So I much prefer doing the lives and just leaving them up there. So that's what I tend to do. Funnily enough, nobody's commented about how long they are. So that's a bonus.
It's all good. It's dead on.
I'll be back tomorrow lunchtime, 1 o'clock, turning a box. I think Scott's on tomorrow night, the Blue Light Turner.
It's after the beard. Who's doing Kim Tippin Invasion?
Kim Tippin tomorrow night. Friday, we've got Dale on at lunchtime.
Mm-hmm.
Stacey will be doing a live on Friday night. And if anybody wants to finish watching me, if any of you know Jeff Hornum from the Walnut Log, I think he's actually doing a live at the moment as well. He was starting at 4 o'clock where he's from now. Where the hell's he from? Forgetting where Jeff's from now. Anyway, he's doing the live just now as well. Saturday, I don't know who's doing the live. It might be Scott doing the live on Saturday.
So I think the lunchtime live, and I might be wrong, and I might be wrong, but as in is normally Nick does a Saturday lunchtime live, I think. Before he does his one in the evening, but I don't know. I think so. Oh, Doug's in the chat. Hi, Doug.
Hi, Doug.
Bye, Doug.
Right, so
Louis
I've just
reckons JP. JP
Jeff's
reckons he's
in
from St. Louis.
St. Louis. Oh, that's where he's from, St. Louis.
Twin
So would
City.
that be central over there?
Yeah, it'd be CATA.
Oh. So he's probably been on for about half an hour. Saturday night, Nick will be on doing his live. Also, Emma, the Tiny Turner, she'll be on as well. And I think she's doing a bit of cookery as well. So that should be good fun. Sunday, Dale will be back on doing...
Nick says Scott's lunchtime live Saturday this week.
All right. Yeah, okay. I thought it might have been Scott.
Sure.
Sunday evening, Chris, the Blind Wood Turner, he'll be on doing a live 7:30. Makers International Podcast 9:30. JP will be doing a premiere at around about 11. And Young Caitlin will be doing a premiere around about 11:15. Monday lunchtime, I'm back. Monday evening, we've got At Home with the Fishers. So that's having a chat for an hour or so with Chris and Nicola. Later on, 9:15 Monday evening, Andy, AH Bespoke, will be doing some carving.
And Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I think we've got Zach Higgins doing resin work. Around 11 o'clock.
Tuesday, we'll have Andy back on at lunchtime doing some carving. Tuesday evening, it'll be Rich, the Beard Invades. And is it the second on Tuesday? I think Martin's on Tuesday as well. He's starting to do lives on the Tuesday evening, so Martin will be on Tuesdays. Oh, he's doing the second part of the Making Sapelli Interesting on Tuesday. I think that's what he's doing on Tuesday. And then we're back to the Wednesday again. So that's us, guys. Like I've said before, thanks very much for coming. I've really enjoyed tonight. It's been really good. Thanks for joining in with the chat. I hope you didn't drink too much. I hope I didn't mention bark too much. I'll see you tomorrow lunchtime.
Bye.
Bye for now.